Is it because of that?
Probably.
Is that why? If it does it again, switch over. Go to the other Wi-Fi. I'll get it for you. Put that by your desk.
It's hot.
How many was it, baby? You
I stopped at
37.
There's more.
There's more.
39 so far.
Tell her no more. Unless it's from, team chat. You want to say hi to the family, babe? They want
Hi.
they want you to say hi to them. You want to say hi?
Give me a second.
I'm missing you, buddy.
They want to see Tink?
What, babe?
They want to see Tink?
They want to see Tink.
Where?
I know what you're gonna do. I'm not even gonna look.
Right there?
You want to say hi?
Tink
Of
says they
course.
have. Tink says hi.
That doesn't count. $70 more. We'll start. This is good caca.
It's good green
This is good stuff, man.
because it's Hawaiian.
It's Hawaiian. Somebody said that's how babies are made.
Drinking tea?
Drinking tea. She means the kisses. That's not how I made babies. Shut up, bro. I'm missing you, buddy. Is this all we got on the CBA? Did any more come in?
No.
Did you know? Okay. Let's see, where are we? Yep, we're ready to start, baby. You? Frank, thanks for all of your tireless efforts. Who said I'm not tired? Thank you, Jared.
It's spinning with no sound. No, not at all.
It's spinning.
That's what they said.
They have to fast forward it.
Don't say.
Why do you look yourself all the time, Frank?
Look younger all the time.
Why do you look younger all the time?
NRF 1 and 2.
Yeah, 1, 2, and that other, the third one that's part of it, NAD.
NAD.
I think that has a lot to do with it internally, but externally, it's that
Jeunesse Luminous.
Luminous. Been using her for many years, and the majority of the wrinkles or indentations or crevices, that I had disappeared. But what's really interesting is that my bald spot is filling in. You've seen that, haven't you? That's the one that's got me really interested. And then for it to grow back again here. I wasn't doing anything. I was minding my own business, and I started using these products, and then poof. All right, baby, ready? 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 3, 2, 1, go. Greetings, family! Welcome to another one of your Frank 26 UB2Bs. Hawaiian floral tea. Look at that. You can actually see the flower petals right there. Isn't that pretty? I think it's plumeria, hibiscus, a little mango and papaya mixed in there. It's good to be with you. It is I believe it's the 7th of December 2019. I greet you with agape love. Welcome to your Frank 26 UB2Bs. Everything that we do tonight is strictly in my opinion, just my opinion, and we certainly don't offer you a date or a rate on this speculative investment that we're studying together. We offer you a comprehensive study that I pray is of some use to you. Today is Saturday, and what do we do? Well, normally I stay with you a little bit like I do on Fridays, and then I go into my form. What's my form? If you're not a member of K, that K, okay, T, F, always.com. Then you should be, because I think that it's important. It would behoove you. That way we can coordinate together our study. You can reference off to the things that we're talking about by looking in our form and saying, there's the articles that Frank was talking about. That Frank is not as crazy as he looks. Anyways, what we're doing tonight, as you know, is questions and answers. And because I stay here with the UB2B, I bring the questions and answers, just a few of them. Look at that. And then there's 6 more pages of questions too. Anyways, it's good to be with you. And before we get started, I'd like to cover a subject. I'd like to ask myself a question and answer it, if you don't mind. I'd like to ask myself a question and answer it, because I think it might be the foundation to a lot of your questions for today. And if it's not, then it can cover a little teaching that I want to do for today. Now, if you go back into your notes, when did I say that I favor, in my opinion, for the Central Bank of Iraq to make their move to add value to their currency? When did I favor? What day of the week? You remember? Let's see if anybody remembers it. You said it tomorrow. Oh, they're talking about something else. I got a Sunday into a Monday. Yeah, Arlene. Yeah, I like that. Sunday into a Monday. Sunday. My goodness, y'all pretty good. Charles says a Tuesday. It can be any day, Charles. It can be any day. Adria, I think, said a Monday. It can be any day. But in my, if you're asking me my opinion, I pay attention to a Saturday into a Sunday. I pay attention to it. But then I would look more from a Sunday into a Monday. And the reason why is because a Saturday into a Sunday is more internally in the things that they are doing inside of their country. Like, for example, what happened today with the CBI and their website. Versus a Sunday into a Monday is more externally. Because a Sunday, banks across the world normally are closed. But on a Monday, the rest of the international banking community catches up with the Iraqi banks. So there's my logic, the reason of why I look for that time area, that time frame. But it can be any day. And I certainly am not trying to isolate that Saturday into Sunday, Sunday into Monday. Not at all. But before we get started with our Q&A for tonight, I ask myself this question. Frank, why did the CBI website shut down early this morning? Now, that's an interesting question because that's a Saturday into a Sunday. And it attracted my attention. Did it attract your attention? What were the 2 things that I told you that my teams are looking for? Only Iran, being a jerk, throwing a tantrum, and maybe something short. And what was the other thing we were looking for? The CBI to talk. And I believe that they talked through their website today. I see when I asked the question, did it not attract you today that the CBI shut down? The majority of you said yeah. I'd like to point out some things about that shutdown this morning. It occurred at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time today. The CBI website just was simply shut down, which was 5:30 p.m. Baghdad time. Are you with me? So you got that time frame? I um I am not going to sit here and blow this up nor exaggerate what happened with the CBI today and their website. But their website is for the purpose of communicating, of teaching, of telling, of describing everything that the CBI is doing right now. And what are they doing right now? A monetary reform, a reinstatement of their currency. So, the thing that I found, I need a pen, please. Thank you. The thing that I found interesting is when it occurred. Number one, a Saturday into a Sunday. Number two, they were shut down for a long time. So I ask you, students of this investment, those that are studying with me, I ask you this question. How long was it shut down for today? How long was it shut down for today? I got Stephanie Ellis saying 3 hours. I got Pamela saying 6 hours. 6.5 hours, 8 hours. Okay, not bad. The 6.5 hours, very good. Not bad. Yeah. Now, I ask you this: have you ever seen it shut down that long before? Have you ever? Go ahead and answer that question next. Have you ever seen it shut down that long? Actually, it was almost 7 hours. Have you ever seen the Central Bank of Iraq shut the instrument of communication to the international world? No, 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 no. Good. And who's that? Jiggy is saying it's usually for a short time. Yeah, like what, an hour? I think the most we've ever seen it is just under 3 hours where it was shut down. And what is the CBI doing right now? Going through a monetary reform, correct? They said it before I said it. The purpose is to reinstate their currency? Yeah, okay. And to lift the three zeros? What, physically? Already done that. Well, oh, electronically? Okay. By opening accounts, the citizens? Alrighty. Boy, that was a lot of work to lift those three zeros physically. 70% of them have been collected so far, you say, huh? That's a lot of work for nothing if you're not going to raise the value of your currency. And the majority, if not all of you, seem to agree with me that, my goodness, this was a very long time of testing, wasn't it? And I've never seen it before. Now, for you that are old timers, what do I say about patterns? Old timers, what does Frank 26 say about patterns? What Frank 26 says about patterns is that if you break one, it means something. Humans are creatures of habitual habits. We find these niches. We find this routine, and we develop a groove. Actually, we even wear a path in the carpet because we'll do the same bloody thing over and over and over and over again. I had a guy say to me, "Why in the world do you live on a? Why would you want to live on an island?" So I said, "Where do you live?" And he tells me. "Where do you go to work?" He tells me. "Where do you go shopping?" He tells me. Where do you go to school or your children? He tells me. "Where do you go to church?" He tells me. I said, "Do you ever go to the east side of your town?" "No." "What side do you live on?" "South side, Frank, south side." "And you never really go to the east side?" "No." "West side?" "No." "North side?" "No." "You live on the south side, huh?" "Yeah." 99.9% of your time is spent on the south side of your city, right? Yeah. In a daily routine that you follow every day, right? Yeah. And you say, "I live on an island"? So, because human beings are prone to be habitual habit creatures, when a pattern is broken by a human being, it causes my attention, it draws my attention. Because it can be either a bad thing or a good thing, one of the two. It is not a neutral thing, it is not a useless thing. And in my opinion, right now, the Central Bank of Iraq is doing maintenance. I believe they're doing maintenance on their website. And I have seen them shut down. And curiously enough, when they did that, it broke the pattern. And we do what we do. And we noticed, we said, "I'll be darned. Did you notice that?" Yeah. Well, they're shutting down, right? And then 3 days later, we see all these currency counter sites with all these different funny numbers, huh? Yeah, I noticed that. Okay. Market. How many times has it happened? 4 times. In our study? Yeah. Over how many years? I see. So today, they decide whatever maintenance they're doing. What, you think it was a glitch? You don't burp for 7 hours. You don't have a hiccup for 7 hours. They did something in those 7 hours. They did something in those 7 hours. And I believe it. Like I said, they're doing something in response or in relationship to their monetary reform. Work is being done on their website. Heck, we never saw it for what, 14, 13 years? It's the last 2 years that we've been seeing the website do this. But today, wasn't a glitch. And so whatever it is that they're working on, whatever maintenance they're doing, it has to be for a purpose. What you saw today was not a mistake. In fact, it was so loud it screamed. It screamed across all of our teams, all of our studies. My goodness gracious. That's a long time. But my question then to my teams is, what kind of work are they doing? What kind of work are they doing? Find out. In my opinion, we should look at the CBI website as a team together, you and I, in our study, and maybe you could help us. Let me tell you what we're looking for, so maybe you can look for it too. Who knows? You might see it before us, you might see it with us, you might see it after us. But I appreciate teamwork. Do it again. And what I'm doing is we should look as a team, you and I, at the CBI website to see if there's any differences have been made. Scan every page. Are there any new pages? Might be. 7 hours, shoot. You could have put in a whole new kitchen and porch. And are there any new numbers? Now, I'm not saying is there a new rate. You can go look for the rate, but that's already been looked at quickly. But are there any more? Are there any new numbers? Is there any new math? Are there any new words? Are there any new words anywhere on the CBI website? Is there a new format? Are there any new pictures? Are there any new charts? Is there any new information on MasterCards, accounting, ATM machines? Somebody just posted, I can't read their language. Then hit the translation button. It's not that difficult. Or let us do it. Delta is looking at it very closely. We look for anything new. We look for anything new after the date of when Vice President Pence arrived in Iraq. Do you understand? Good. Why, Frank? Why? Come on, man. What Pence do, in my opinion? We look for anything new after the date of when Pence arrived on the CBA website because it shut down dramatically today and he's giving orders, and also because of the rider activated in the budget by Pence, in my opinion, which is causing a domino effect that affects other things. I want you to also be careful that when you go to the CBI website, it's going to say to you that the exchange rate is 1190, 1190, okay. But then it's going to have a comma and it's going to have 3 zeros. I need for you to understand that that comma is actually a dot. In Arabic, the comma is a dot. So, is there a system, is there a new system that's coming up? Help us find it if you want. But now, some 7 hours later, and normally they're only down like about less than an hour, no more than I've seen it, less than 3 hours. So, to me, 7 hours very simply means that there's work being done on the CBI website. And this is not so much maintenance, because it was an extraordinarily long time. And the CBI website actually came back up about 2 hours ago. So my teams are tearing that site apart looking in English and in Arabic. So just wanted to give you my question before we get started, and to give you my opinion of that question. Now, I hope it helps. So when I come across a question here that deals with the CBI website, I'll simply say, please watch the beginning of this UB2B. I'm not going to walk past that question. I wasn't going to answer your questions, only team chat, but who is that? Steps for success. Frank, could it be that this is the first nothing of nothing, 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 and then suddenly? You mean because the CBI disappeared and there's nothing? I like your idea. Would you like my opinion of what nothing, 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 and then suddenly means? Would you like my opinion? The CBI, along with the banks of Iraq, had to do recalculations and they had to do testing of the exchange rate. And they tested it with many different multiple exchange rates. Every time that they did it, they came that close, in my opinion, to actually reinstating their currency. One time was unfortunate that the leader, the president of the United States of America, decided to pull the troops out and allow ISIS and Daesh and the Taliban to just simply destroy all the work that had been done since 2003 when we went there. The second time was just last year, in my opinion. And it was actually around this time of the year last year, December into January into the first quarter. The Mukla of 2019. But unfortunately, they being, I guess, Daddy, did not like the environment, and they declared that it was not stable and secure enough, so they shut it down. And it was because of Maliki. So all of this year, they've spent all their time to go in there and remove terrorism from the government, from the streets of Iraq, from the merchants, from the currency counters, counters that they were just messing the exchange rate in Iraq to secure the borders, clean the place up. Because it didn't take long for Obama to destroy all that was established there. And when that happened, the Muslim nation turned to Obama and said, "Up yours. Don't you ever even think about coming over here to visit us." And for 8 years, he just stayed in the Oval Office, did absolutely nothing. History can show you, will show you, does show you that man did absolutely nothing. Nothing was passed. No legislation, nothing of any good. And what he did, it's all being dismantled. The health insurance right now, tearing it apart. He had a different agenda. He tricked you, American citizens. He didn't trick me. I sure as hell didn't vote for him. I could smell him a mile away. Oh, dude, we beat up people like you in my neighborhood. But anyways, go ahead and fool the public, and he did for 8 years. But get ready. You're going to find out about Obama pretty soon. Anyway, so I got off track. What was the question? I forgot what I read the gentleman's question. What did he ask? Oh, for crying out loud! You see, that's what you get, Frank. Could it be that this is the first nothing of nothing of nothing and nothing, and then suddenly? Well, I just gave you the three nothings. We had a chance and it was shut down. We had a chance, shut down. We had a chance this year too, shut down. Those are three nothings. And all of a sudden, suddenly, I think we're about to see something. That's my opinion. All righty, let's get to work. It's 20 after 7. Let's see when we're done with this gazillion questions that you have. And it's good to be with y'all. Let's kick back, relax, and learn from each other. Now, if I come across a question and I don't know the answer to it, I don't know the answer. I'll tell you. If I don't feel comfortable with a question, I'll also say, listen, I don't want to answer it right now. Let's move on. And whatever answer I do give, it's just in my opinion. It's just in my opinion. Here we go. First question from Glenn Lopez. I haven't seen these questions, so please bear with me. If I have to read them more than once, when you present your questions, I ask you please, kindly, politely, double check your grammar. It makes it easier for me to understand what your question is. And very kindly, only ask one question at a time. Don't ask a multiple layer of questions inside of one question because it just becomes complicated for me to even answer the question. Number one, from Glenn Lopez. Hi, Glenn. If citizens are to get a percent of the proceedings of the HCL, yeah, no, they are, and get a percent of proceedings from HCL and Article 140, they're not getting a percent from Article 140. Article 140 is of the census. It has nothing to do with any proceedings, any percentages given to the citizens financially. It has to do with the census that was taken to figure out the amount that each citizens would get in a certain district or province. You got to be careful with your question. So blah 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 blah. Hasn't that money already been reinstated when they go to pay the citizens? Okay, I don't understand. Let's try this again. If citizens are to get a percentage of the proceedings from the HCL, that's true, and Article 140, that's not true. Hasn't that money already been reinstated when they go to pay the citizens? No, nothing has been reinstated yet. Also, no proceedings, no percentages have been given to the citizens of the HCL yet. I think what you're asking me is when they do get their part, will that will the exchange rate be will it be will it have gone up by then? Yeah, yeah, because that's the only way you're going to get the HCL. The math behind the HCL at a program rate at 1190 does not work. Why do you think we're so excited about the fact that they admitted Kurdistan? Kurdistan, hey, proud son, huh? What's up? I'm here in Baghdad. What you got? What you got? Pence just told me to give you this. What you got? What you got? Oh my God! You signed the HCL. You signed the HCL. Yeah, with blood. Oh, wow. How much did Pence say you're going to get? Well, you guys said that we were going to get 12% or 14%. I didn't like it. So we sent him a letter and we told him that we wanted 17%. So he said, "You gonna get 17%, dudes?" Wow. And we were happy, so we signed the damn thing. We'll send you our oil. Okay. And we're gonna get 17% of the budget though, right? Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Daddy Prince, Uncle Pence, because you got Daddy Trump and then you got Uncle Pence, and Uncle Pence said, "If you sign it, I'll give you more." What? If you sign it, what you wanted 14? Well, 17 would be good. You got 17. Really? You agreed on Article 140, right? We did. You agreed on the HCL? Yeah. We're all for it. We'll send you the oil. All right. Well, then I tell you what. I asked you if you would do it, and I told you I'd reward you. Look at here, 17%. What do we get? What do we got? Huh? Oh, we just froze. Every time you break my UB tube, I'm just going to drink water. So where was I? Uncle Pence tells the Kurds he wanted 14, well, actually 17, sir. I got it. And you guys are really, you're willing to go ahead and do the HCL in Article 140, yeah? I'll reward you even more for that. What? We'll give you 20%. Really? Yeah. We'll do anything you want us to do, Uncle Pence. That's the plan. So, you all go ahead and do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. Guy to Kurdistan? Oh, okay, we got it. We'll take care of it. Good job. I'll see you guys later. I'm going back to Washington, D.C. Bye-bye, Uncle Pence. Don't stay away far. Say hi to the family. Please write. Ciao, baby. Ciao. What, Uncle Pence? Huh? You serious? We got to 17 though, right? 20%, Uncle Pence? But did I just hear you right? How much? 22%? Who I gotta kill? Uncle Vito? Who we gotta take care of for 20? Are you serious, Pence? What do you want us to do? What? Here, what? Let me see. Lasani, you reading this? We can do this? But can we talk? I'll be back. Okay, bye-bye. In my opinion. Question number 2. I heard that on Fox, also from Glenn Lopez, I heard that on Fox the currency cannot be Everything that I say is in my opinion, right? Half the things I say you don't understand. Half the things I say you don't see until much later. Please enjoy. Question number 2, also from Glenn Lopez. Did we kill everybody? Oh, I see.
Are you still on the first question?
Yeah, I'm still on the first question. I'm sorry. I'll hurry up. Question number 2. Question number 3. No, question number 2. I heard that on the Fox currency. Are they giving me thumbs up?
Yes, they're all telling me.
You guys, will you give me thumbs up, please? Okay. Number 2. I heard that on the Forex, the currency cannot be lower than a 1-to-1 exchange on the Forex. Is this true? Well, who's going to exchange anything lower than that? Then you get into the penny stocks and the small things. 1-to-1 with the American dollar is a preferred trading stock. That's all that is. Don't let a guru try to freak you out or psych you out. Number 3, from Stephen Doyle. Frank, you recently told us that Daddy will be giving the citizens something to help shift their focus to increase the purchasing power. In your opinion, how soon will this happen? I just gave you that example and with question number 1. Question number 4, also from Stephen Doyle. Frank, Angel One just enthusiastically declared that we are in an incredible window. Yeah, I saw him show up in team chat today. We're in an incredible window. Is it also fair to say that finally we are in an incredible CBI based drop dead time frame? Nothing is drop dead. Nothing is secured in the Middle East. Nothing is solid. So far, it's been nothing, and I expect suddenly, very soon. So no, I wouldn't. I would not, as enthusiastic as Angel One is, because his connections are very simply, they're on alert and they're simply waiting to be told. Told what? That there's a change in the Iraqi dinar. Why? Because in my opinion, the Central Bank of Iraq has already communicated with these banks that we know of, and they've already been told by the CBI, did you see the specimen? Yeah. Did you get all of our memos? You understand we're internationally linked with you now? Yeah, yeah. You understand what they were about to make a move to join you, international world, right? Yeah, 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 yeah. Do you want us to join you? Yeah, 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 yeah. So when you say, is there a drop dead time frame? There's a time, there is a date. And what I find more, what I find that solidifies our study is the fact that, in my opinion, these banks now have that which was preciously protected. And I said, how long will, is the icing going to sit there before it melts? I don't know, but I do know that in my heart, in my opinion, they're in the banks. And the banks do, in my opinion, in my heart, have a date that has been assigned to them by the CBI. Because that date was brought to them and given to them by the United States of America. Question number 5. Frank, amidst many ongoing changes, including violence in the streets, is it possible that the CBI rate announcement may also need to wait on GOI activities, like creating a fair election law, the passing of the budget, or the selecting of a new prime minister? Absolutely 100% no. No, in fact, I still stand by what I'm saying, that I think that the CBI is going to eventually embarrass the GOI. I think that the rate will come out long before anything that is necessary to be completed by the GOI. I believe that both the GOI and CBI are being controlled by the United States now. So maybe there will be a better covalent bonding between the two of them, and not so much friction and resistance that causes their polarities to be the same nasty attitude towards the citizens, and cause nothing to be productive. The CBI is way ahead of the GOI. Question. Hold on, sir. I'll be right back. Just give me like 1 or 2 minutes. I'll be right back. Hey, how you doing? maybe sometime tomorrow. Shoot, it'll be later in the afternoon because by the time I get done with my dad and church and everything else, so. But there's a lot more to that dollar, right? That's what I thought. That's what I tried to plant the seed yesterday. And I kept looking up at my teams that dollar, they're trying to tell them something. So if you got more files on that, please, let's talk tomorrow then, okay? Yeah. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, hell yeah, you're gonna live through it, man. You know that. You go kick ass and come back. Are you worried? Are you concerned? Indeed. I'll call you tomorrow. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Bye-bye. First of all, we pray for our friend. We're going to lose him most of next week. And the reason why he's going in for a full body blood transfusion. The doctors don't know if he can live through it. He says, it is what it is, Frank. I said, yes, sir. But tomorrow he wants to talk because the dollar that I told you about yesterday that was on the CBI website, there's a lot more to it than what I told you. What the CBI did, he said, with that American dollar when they put it up there, and how Delta explained it to us yesterday with that recording I gave you, it was for the citizens to calm them down. But there's a lot more that is not released, to the general public, I guess. But we'll cover that with him tomorrow. I'll get those notes, and you pray for Walking Stick, okay? Question number 6 from Stephen Doyle. So the files I get from him tomorrow, we will consider sharing them with you on Monday on our conference call. Question number 6, also from Stephen Doyle. Frank, understanding that there are many variables in play, in your opinion, what do you see as the top 3 primary speed bumps to completing our study? Well, the primary speed bump is Iran, the influence of Iran. Even though we were wiping out the Iranian people, there will always be Iranian influence. There'll always be that citizen that is actually a traitor and says that he's an Iraqi, but he's supporting Iran for whatever stupid reason that there might be. That's number 1 of the 3 priorities. Number 2, that the citizens continue to protest, that they continue to protest, go and find something else to burn down. You see, I told you very clearly, now pay it close attention. Ladies and gentlemen, in my opinion, the monetary reform, it won't work if it has to work with the citizens first. How many times did I say that? And how long have I been saying that? Citizens of Iraq, what are you doing? Protesting. You think that that's the environment, that's the conditions that Daddy wants to give you this purchasing power? No, Frank, but I'm not done protesting. Well, then we're not ready to give you your purchasing power. And number 3, I don't know, a lack of cookies? Number 7, also from Stephen Doyle. Frank, will the passing of the 220 budget compel the CBI to review the new IQD rate? Well, yeah, I guess, yeah. Will the passing of the 220 budget compel the CBI to review the new IQD rate? You ain't gonna get no passing of no budget without the rate. Yeah, you're gonna pass the budget and then retroactive, and you can flip a switch and all that. But you think that Daddy want? Did you think that that's what we want? That's what they wanted to do. They prolong it. Look, you're gonna do it. You sign on the dotted line, and that's it. Now move your ass out of the way because we got another project. That's America. That's the frontiers that we conquered. We don't sit there and just drink tea and smoke from the hookah and just mumble and come up with nothing coherent. Good luck, Iraq. I wish you the best of luck because, boy, are you going to have to change your attitude in the international world. So, will the passing of the 220 budget compel the CBI to reveal the new IQD rate? They already got it. From Tim, in your opinion, how long until you think we see something short? No, you see, those are the kind of questions I'm not going to play that game. I already told you what that meant, and I already told you how sensitive it is. And then you asked me that question. Number 9, from Hammy. Is the United States and Fab 4 now in control of the intern government with no outside interference from Iran? Same thing what I just said. You're always going to have these cockroaches crawling in the crawl space. You can't get rid of them. Rats and cockroaches will always accompany humankind. And unfortunately, evil will always haunt humankind. So even with us putting in the intern government, even with us, cleaning out the whole place with napalm bombs, if that's what it takes to sterilize it, you're still going to have the stench of Iranian influence one way or another. But at least it's now controlled. At least it's now in control, in check, versus dominating and suffocating and killing. Question number 10 from Vernon. In your opinion, bottom line is, do we wait past the first blush of the rate change? Blush? Bottom line is, do we wait past the first BLUSH, the first blush of the rate change? Rush, maybe. Could be rush. I'm going to change your word blush into rush. Bottom line is, do we wait past the first rush of the rate change? That's your business. You don't ask me that. I already gave you my opinion. Do you want to go for that sucker bet? Go ahead. Everybody's been waiting an eternity to go out there and exchange their dinars for capital gains. If the CBI offered you $1, what are you going to say? What are you going to say? Nah, it's okay. Never mind. Really? 99.9% of you, especially those that do not care to study. I'm going to buy me a rich house. I'm going to buy me a bazillion things. Those are the ones that are going to go out there right away and exchange at the first rate that's given to them. Hell, if it's 10 cents, they'll exchange 90%, 100% of what they got. It is the one that, it is the individual. It is the individual that reaches down to the river and cups the water in his hands and brings it to his mouth and drinks as he looks from the right to the left that will be successful. Not the one that falls to the river and just drinks and puts his head in the water and not knowing where the dangers are around him. So you can't ask me, should I wait until after the first, rush of the rate change? That's your business. And if you want to take that sucker bet, that's your business. But if you're a student, I think you know what to do. Question number 11 from Wasabi. Wasabi. Frank, thank you, sir. In your humble opinion, being that the banking sector in Iraq stopped loans and coordinated with banks, dates specific from December the 2nd to December, blah, blah, blah. Then all of a sudden, then all of the sudden, some of several banks are saying that they are ready to make loans. What gives? What? Okay, I think you're saying if the banks in Iraq said we're not going to make any loans, and then all of a sudden they say we are going to make loans. Why? What gives? What gives is that they weren't going to make loans, and then they are going to make loans. That's it. And I already gave you the reasons why. I told you why when they stood next to the CBI, the proud son. We now have our assets. We now have the FDIC insurance. We went through all this. So question number 12 from Thundercat. Hi, Frank and Tink. Thank you and all the teams for all the information they provide. My question is regarding the private banks. It was mentioned previously these banks will allow us to open accounts and keep the currency in dinars. That's what we said, in my opinion. Are these accounts MCAs? Are these accounts MCAs? You mean multiple currency accounts? Like HSBC? Yeah. Would you be able to give us just a little bit more information about the type of account the private bank offers? Once again, what did I say about these banks? The only reason you're asking me these questions because I told you about these banks. No other guru, nobody knows about them. The CBI was going to inform you very well about them. These are banks that they have established all around the world, especially in the United States of America, to be part of the exchange, to send the 3 zeros back to their home base via their representative banks in the United States. And I told you, when the blessing occurs, the CBI will tell you more. I've told you enough, no more than you really should know. As far as how many locations and all that stuff, yeah, I got a good idea of it, but I'm not about to tell you. Let them tell you, okay? Alrighty, thank you kindly. It's a blessing just to be able to know that this is possible, in my opinion. Question number 12. No, that was 12. Question number 13. Are they giving me thumbs up, Tink?
Yep, they're working on it. 6:31 right now.
Can I bother you for more water? He's. I'm sorry. The moment I said do it again, he stopped. No more, no more, no more. Yeah, I'm sorry. Anyways, question number 13 from PAB, PAB 1. Frank, the pictures of the religious leaders, Sistani, in the warehouse full of money, the ones I showed you, right? Okay, that's the only reason you know about them. What about it? In the house full of money, he allegedly or did steal. Okay. Will he be made accountable for this money and will the Iraqi people get all the money he stole back? Oh heck no. That's holy cow, of course not. No. Well, you gonna go in there and take it from him? You know, these holy men got their own militia, they got their own police that protects them. They got their own government, their own security forces. Besides, that was money that was donated to whatever you guys are. Okay, and I tell you what, you try to take it, the citizens will lose it. And as far as whether he stole it or not, they know he stole it. He's Iranian. Will we go in there and take it? Will the authorities go in there and take it? Probably not. Not from these people. That's too dangerous. It's just not worth it. You would open a completely different short. From McNan, Frank, do you know why the CBI was shut down today? McNan, rewind this recording. Question number 15. Question from Alora. Could it be proper to inquire how Walking Stick is doing? Is he keeping track with us? We answered that question just a few seconds ago, Alora. Thank you for asking. Question number 16 from Kayak Man. Who will benefit? Who will benefit from the billions of dollars stolen by Maliki, Sostini, and all the corrupt thieves in the government of Iraq? Who will benefit? Well, if it's recovered, the citizens of Iraq, the CBI, the government. Will the United States benefit from it? No, of course not. No. This money uh, we gave to Iraq to use. I suppose we could, call it back since we rescued it. But no, it should go to the government, the people of Iraq, and I'm sure it will. Question number 17 from My Angels Are Here For Me. I heard the stock exchange will be closed on December the 15th to January the 20th, 2020. Any truth to that? Sounds like a long time to be closed. No, that's normal for the stock exchange. Well, I will admit they normally close probably closer to the end of the year than the 15th, but no, I don't find anything unusual with that. The stock market has been making money hand over fist. Oh my goodness, I'm sure they're tired. They want a break. Question number 18 from His Alone. Are the countries surrounding Iraq, example, Kuwait, Jordan, Iran, UAE, Vietnam, how's China surrounded? How does Vietnam surround? Anyways, let me just ask a question. Are the countries surrounding Iraq holding IQD or other currencies like the dong as well? I don't know. But logic says they're neighbors. Of course they got dinars. Of course they got dinars. And I'll bet you anything they're expecting to get the new small category notes as well too when the rate changes as well too. So, and as far as holding dongs, I don't know. I doubt it. The dong is not worth for a country to invest in. If you're saying, well, it may go up in value and they'll make money, a country doesn't have time to play with their money that way. It's more a country. The tax is more for acute issues, not for something chronic laid over a period of time. Anyway, so question number 18 from His Alone. Oh, that's the question. Question number 19 from Susie. How y'all doing? Do you realize thumbs up or what does help care, Frank? Okay, thank you, Tom. Mark. Oh, here's. Let's see what this question is. Are they crafty? Saddam had detonation cords and boxes. Man, that's not okay. Let's see. If you're a home computer, wow, they are 20,000 bad. Oh, what was that?
Summer,
What did it say?
they called you a lousy something or other.
He called me a what?
Lousy something or other. Gone now.
20,000 it said, and then he calls me lousy. Oh well, we're spinning. Tell me when you're back on.
Never went out.
Oh well, it was spinning over here for me. It stopped now. Oh, so that was a swimmer, huh?
Yep.
Is that what you guys have fun with while I'm talking?
Well, I'm watching.
I wish I could play with these swimmers. Mighty hiding out in a spider hole. No. Oh, they got rid of another one. I didn't get to see it. Young? That's it. They always say something nice. Must have been something bad. Huh? Hey, Frank, what? You're a booger butt. Alrighty, it was one. Question number 19 from Susie. Oh, Susie Q. Oh, Susie Q. It was once discussed that if it came out as a float, it could only increase a small percentage each month. Does that still hold truth? That's a good question. Okay. All right, let's have fun with this. It was once discussed that if it came out as a float, yeah, yeah, I definitely believe it'll be a float. I think that's what they picked. It could only increase a small percentage each month. Well, then that would be a managed float, and I don't think that that's the option that they went with. Because in my opinion, they've recalculated to the point where, holy cow, we can take it all the way. Did you see that? But we're not going to take it all. But we can, but we're not going to. Okay, I won't to. So, and Fab Four, thank God, goes in there and says, "Stupid, you're not going to do what Kuwait did. Kuwait took it all the way up to what, like $16? Thank God we came in there, we shut it down. What you got? You ran it for like about a week or something like that. You can't do that. You can't have currency inflation. You can't put out the. So no, no. So the answer is no. Does that still hold true? So question number 20. If you're a booger butt, you're the most lovable booger butt I've ever met. Okay. What's a booger butt? I remember, I remember when our children were small. What did I used to call them? Babe?
Sugar booger.
I said, "You little sugar booger, come here, you little sugar booger." Like what? Dad, why you calling me sugar booger? What's that? I don't know. It sounded cute. Come here, come here. I create things and I don't even know where they came from. From Peggy last week, you told me no. May we see the star on the tree now? No. It's 1 inch away from the top, Peggy. Peggy, in other words, the next time that we move it, there should be a rate change. If not, there's no reason to move it. You scare me. Question number 21 from Flash. I believe that Shabibi stated years ago that the rate change becomes official when it hits the Gazette. No. But said it can wait to be shown to the citizens for 3 days. Has that changed? You're going to other gurus, aren't you? Man, I don't know anything about that. Who is this from the Flash? Hey, Flash, when the CBI makes the decision to go ahead and release the rate, it will first and only first automatically be on the CBI website. Then they send in the information because that's their job to all the different counter sites, stock markets, NASDAQ, you name it. And they all get the information. Hey, look at there's a new exchange rate for the Iraqi dinar. Good. Go ahead and change all of our math, and let's get this currency up to date. In fact, now that it's international, let's get it on the boards and let's start trading it. And that's why Nasdaq said, "Hi, me and the Iraqi stock exchange, we want to recognize Women's Day. Really? On the Nasdaq board in New York. You know how much you know how much it costs to even take a few minutes of your really Nasdaq. You want the world to know that you and the Iraqi Stock Exchange are so happy that you're celebrating Women's Day today, huh? Hell, you don't even trade the Iraqi stock at penny stocks on the Nasdaq. So what are you doing? Nothing. You're advertising, huh? No. You're telegraphing, aren't you? No. Then why you got that little worthless little currency next to you on your main outside New York, right in the corner there, billboard, huh? Why, huh? I don't know. Okay. And then, hey, I'm not done, Nasdaq. Then 3 weeks later, you did it again. We and the Iraqi Stock Exchange, we want to recognize. Just stop it. Everybody knows what's going on. You don't have to do that. You don't have to pretend. Alrighty, so I hope that helps you. Question number 2 from Rain Dancer 777. Frank, do you still lean towards the CBI showing the lower denoms for a short time before the rate change or at the same time? Yeah, I mean I haven't said that I changed my mind on that, right? Yeah, logic says that here, look, I want to show you something. You see that? You're going to be getting that. Oh, that's nice. And then you give them that. And then they reference back, let me see. So that's what they told me about what they finally gave me. Now let's reverse that. I want to give you a brand new currency. What's it valued? What's the face value of this? How do I get change from this? What is this? What's the new rate on it? So, yeah, you should put your socks on and then your shoes, don't you think? Question number 23 from Beethoven. And so is 24, and so is 25, and so is 26. And okay, Beethoven, here we go. Frank, will the election laws being passed by Parliament make it easier and faster to elect a new prime minister? Yeah. That's why they need them. Question number 4, Beethoven. Frank, who decided which Iraqi candidate will the citizens vote on for prime minister? Who decided which Iraqi candidates will the citizens vote on for the prime minister? Well, they got their own and they put them up, but in all honesty, nah, we're doing it, in my opinion. And they're all independents, and they've already claimed that already. Shoot, even a body came, was it? Yeah, even a body came out and says, I'm independent. Since when? Since when? When, Pence? When? Last week? So vote for me. Because that's what the citizens want. They don't want no parties. They don't want no Shiites. They don't want no Sunnis. They don't want no representation from anybody. Stupid. They want independent, educated people that will make decisions for their country without a bias bone in their body. And I pray to God that these independent people don't get corrupted either. Because it's very easy in that environment. Oh, it's so easy. You go to a bar not to worship God. You go to a bar to get drunk, to get lucky. And that's why you go to the government. Not to serve the people, but for the people to serve you, says the Iranian politicians. Not anymore. Not anymore. That environment has completely changed. It's just going to be a lot harder for them to take that money. Alrighty. Question number, where are we? I don't even know. Oh, still with Beethoven. Beethoven, now your third question here. Frank, how will the citizens be informed of the voting procedures and the candidates throughout Iraq? Just like they do here in the United States, they haven't started that campaign yet. They'll put up their plaster, they'll paste, they'll glue all these billboards that they can everywhere. Everywhere. Here in the United States, we have laws that prevent that type of political campaigning, but over there, no, it doesn't matter. If a person is standing there too long, they'll glue a poster on his back and and advertise it. So yeah, once they have the candidates, once they say this is the election process, the election time, then they'll go through it. They haven't yet, and that's one of the things that's really pissing off the Iraqi citizens. So they're planning another big march protesting. Question number 6 from Beethoven. Frank, how long will it take for the votes to be counted? Is there a limited time given to do this? How long will it take for the votes to be counted? Well, when they finally do get to campaign and when they finally do get to vote, the voting is usually done within about a week's time or less. It's inside, but this time, UN officials will be there to be monitoring it. American officials will be there to be monitoring it. Let's just pray to God that it's not any Democratic officials. Question number 27 from RG. Do you think that the IQD will peak at around? This whole call is in my opinion, right? I ain't giving you no date. I ain't giving you no rate. Now all of a sudden RG is talking about exactly that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to answer RG's question with the understanding, with the foundation that I'm not giving you a date or a rate. I'm giving you my opinion. Got it? Okay, here we go. Do you think that the IQD will peak at around $4.26 after 6 to 7 months? Jeez Louise. The number one thing I say, no dates, no rates. Now that was the longest. That was the longest and the deepest explanation I have ever given on a date or a rate. And I hope you enjoyed it, okay? Okay. I won't ever do that again now, okay? That was a lot of opinion and breaking it down and everything, okay? Yeah. No, I didn't. I told you, don't break my UBTB. The question 27 from RG. That was terrible. That was wicked. Oh, that was funny. Come on, man. You gotta laugh at that. That was funny. All right. I can just imagine a lot of people like, they're like, huh? How do you what? Let's take this seriously because you know what? I've played enough with this, but I think this might help some people. And again, please, it's data rate question. I'm not offering you a data rate. So here we go. Do you think that the IQD will peak? Do you think that the IQD will peak at around 426 after 6 to 7 months? In my opinion, I already said earlier that I don't think it'll be a managed float. I think it'll be a float. And because of the potential, not of the currency, but because of the potential of the country of Iraq, and because the United States of America is protecting it with its force field of our might, of our armed forces. You can't touch Iraq. Nobody can, and they all know it. They all know it. Iran 2 days ago said, "Well, Mr. Trump, if you get rid of the sanctions, we'll talk to you. Up yours. You know what to you know what to do. Get the hell out of Iraq and leave your damn people alone." And then today they said, "Well, Mr. Trump, how about if we swap? How about if we swap? We'll give you one of our prisoners and you give us one of your prisoners, huh? No, up yours. You should have just given us the prisoner. Period." No, Iran, whatever. So the question, what was it again? 6 to 7 months. No, no, I see it happening a lot faster. Why? Because they recalculated to multiple rates. I do see it coming out at one internally and then leaving the borders at just over one and not within 6 to 7 months, not even within 6 or 7 weeks. The potential of this country, the contractors are not hundreds, it's thousands. The logarithmic potential of Iraq's financial future that is going to touch many different countries, many different ways. My God, it's full of stars. So, let's do 1-to-1 inside. All right. Let it go outside. All right. Let it free float. All right. And when it gets to a certain point, all right, what was it? Well, what were we? 322. What did the Minister of Finance and Minister of Planning say? Add 20% to it. Carry the 386 roughly. Okay. But that was of what, 2014. What if we had another 20%? So let's just 425. All right, I tell you what, when it gets to that certain part, why don't we just cap it then? That's a good idea. In the meantime, if we come out at 1-to-1, we'll get all our damn 3 zeros back probably. Yeah. But not all of them, because there is that small percentage of people that actually know what they're doing with this investment. You got to know when to hold them. You've got to know when to fold them. And I'm not here to do that for you. Question number 28 from Judy. In your opinion, are you expecting or looking for more than one short event? You know what? That one I don't mind answering. Judy says, in your opinion, you're expecting or looking for more than one short event? No. 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 Do we need the one short event before the blessing? I told you, old timers, a long time ago that in my opinion, before you start another war, you have to pay for the last war. Give it time, it'll soak in, it'll make sense. Question number 29, also from Judy. In your opinion, will the 2020 budget be approved by the Iraqi parliament in the coming weeks? Or week? You said week. Either weeks or weeks. Yes. Let's see what happens. See, we're there. We're going to push it through. Come hell or high water. It don't make no. Okay. Whoa, that was gone. What happened to that?
Rates.
Huh?
Saying you said something and I know you haven't said that.
I didn't say that. What'd I say? Question number 30, also from Judy. Really? Look at that. I got it. Judy. Was that Burt Lancaster? Was that? Judy. Last question from Judy. In your opinion, have the new prime ministers been picked? Oh, no, wait. Have the new prime minister, you mean has? Has the new prime minister been picked? And the announcement. What? Have you mean, okay. Has the new prime minister been picked and the announcement is being kept under lock and key for the right time? Question mark. Have. Okay, so did they pick the new prime minister? No. Been picked and announced to be kept later under lock and key for the right time. Yes. Question number 31. This will cause, in my opinion. I didn't say Jack. From Jay Black. Question number 31. Is the CBI shut down the short event we're looking for or a prelude? Well, Jack, like I said at the beginning, if you rewind it, you'll see that the fact that they shut it down was not that interesting. But what did attract our attention is that when we went back to look for it, it's still down, still down. And then when we went back to look for it again, it's still down. And when we went back to look for it again, it's still down. What are you- Did we get a hold of AG's people? Frank, that's why all the banks that we are in contact with are on high alert. All right, thanks. Question number 32 from DB. The CBI has recently put out very detailed specs for the building of a new, for the building, okay. The CBI has recently put out very detailed specs for the building new bank buildings, for the probably specs for the building probably of new bank buildings. Okay. Were those instructions meant for buildings to be built in Iraq? Oh, good question. Outside of Iraq, or both, in your opinion? Okay, so you see, this person knows. The CBI did recently put out some blueprints and information, drawing schematic specs of buildings that they plan to be building. And this person wants to know, DB says, were those not instructions, but were those drafts meant for buildings to be built in Iraq? Yes. Outside of Iraq? No. Or both? But if you look more and more, you're going to find out soon that they're going to tell you about the buildings that they rented that will become their private bank representations wherever they want them to be. No. Number 33, also from Jay Black. He says, from the time the CBI shuts down, how long do they have to give notice to the BIS, etc., before formally changing the rate on their site? The CBI is autonomous. They are completely independent. They are their own. Nobody is going to know anything until the CBI releases it. So your question, from the time the CBI shuts down, how long do they have to give notice to the BIS? That's got nothing to do with it. The Bank of International Settlements already knows the date. And I don't want to talk anymore about that. Question number 34 from John MC. Frank, have you heard if the citizens are exchanging their dollars yet? Good question. Because that's what I told them yesterday. I looked right into the camera there. Eddie, guys, remember when I told you to go get the 250s, 500s, and 1000s as quickly as you could? And then about 2 days later, they tell you, oh, we don't got no more. Sorry, all gone. Huh? Yeah, you loaded up, didn't you? And what did I tell you yesterday, Eddie, when I looked right into the camera and I told all your friends that are with you right now, guys, get rid of your American dollars as fast as you can. You don't have that much time. I don't know when what the date is on the schedule. But it seems to me that I think they want to get things done this year because Daddy's there and Daddy doesn't F around. We don't move things into next year. No, we run a very rigid regimen. We're very, very strict in the things that we do. That's what American business is like. That's what Western business is like. Yeah, yeah, it's almost militaristic. So, have I heard if the citizens are exchanging their dollars yet? I just told them to do it yesterday. Give me time to find out. Question number 35 from DB. DB, look at the license, look at the size of this. Oh God, here we go. And you even break it down into one, two, three sections. From DB, Frank, recently you have shared some things that revolve El Típico. That's our family restaurant. El Típico will close on December the 31st. but that Dina is the deciding vote. Yes, she is. I told her that it's up to her. Number two, you and Tink will be landing in Hawaii on the 2nd of January. Yeah, I just told you that a few days ago. Okay. Number three, last night during your team chat, you. Okay, I don't mind saying we keep things in team chat, but I don't mind saying that. You said that your life is a schedule. Yeah. I don't have time for myself. Ain't that right, babe?
Yep.
That was a small little voice that said, "Yep." That was about
Yep.
it. Now I'm playing, sweetheart. My life is a schedule. So, just wondering if those three schedule-driven items somehow coincide with the schedule receipts that Walking Stick has shared with us. So, wait a minute. Just wondering if those three schedule-driven items somehow coincide with the schedule receipts that Walking Stick has shared with us. No, DB, because I don't know it. I wasn't even offered the date. My teams are military, and it's rare that they laugh or smile or giggle or anything like that. Or we talk as if we give each other orders. And we do have some people that are military, and we recognize and we honor them. But the restaurant closing at the end of the year, me leaving and arriving literally at the end and the start of the year, and to say that my life is on a schedule has nothing to do with the schedule that has a date that was given to the banks in Iraq when they delivered the new small category notes. No, no. And I certainly wouldn't lie to you that last year, this time last year, I was just as excited as you, hoping and praying that this is it. But it wasn't. And we found out why, and it made sense, and okay. And now we're at this point where this is it. Okay, maybe. Because if you do get that budget out there, now, how many of you paid close attention when I talked about the budget? They were going to get, what, 14%? But they ended up fighting for 17%. What percent did I tell you that Pence gave them? Because you see, I've been telling you the last few days, playing. Pence showed up at Kurdistan and he made him a deal that they couldn't refuse. Pence told him, I'll give you more, this and that. Oh. Remember all that conversation? Then all of a sudden, boom. No, 20%. From 17 to 20%. Where have you read this? Where have you read this? Thank goodness this is all in my opinion, right? But now I also even tell you, hey, psst, what, y'all done? Bye-bye, Pence. Say hi to Daddy Trump. And the First Lady, she's cool. Say hi to her, too. Bye-bye. What? 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 Did you hear? He wants to give us 22% if we do this. Can we do this? Can we do this? Can we do? We can do this. So, you think that Baghdad would allow, well, from 14, 17%? Fine. 17 to 20%? Hell no! I got to pocket it. I need it. I need more gazillions in my pocket. 22? Elizabeth is the big one. Oh, God. No. But what have you read about this? No. Last question, question number 37, Frank. Frank? What is a nugget that Eddie has given you that you haven't shared yet? 22%. Oh, wait a minute. That I gave you that, didn't I? What is a nugget that Eddie has not given you yet? They have macadamium cookies in Iraq. I found out. Any more questions?
Steph, I just posted one more
Where, down here?
on the chat. There's only two more.
Two more on the chat.
Is the pizza all gone and has the ice cream all melted?
Well, the pizza's been gone because the banks got exactly what they needed physically versus electronically. But as far as the ice cream, I just hope it's Dippin' Dot because that way they can keep it in liquid nitrogen. Next question.
Do you have a suit of many colors?
Joseph, I would probably have Joseph's jacket, yeah. Somebody asked me, how many suits do I have? 26. And that's all the questions?
That's it.
That's it! That's all you want to ask me? Oh, you made it easy on me tonight, didn't you? What, you don't want to play? All right, fine, I'll go home.
Another one if you want to answer it.
No, okay, go ahead.
Do you think the short we are looking for have to do with Iran?
You know anybody else's ass you want to kick in the Middle East? Next question.
Do you have a green suit?
Yep, I got a green suit. You want me to wear green tomorrow? We'll do it, okay?
Tomorrow's Sunday.
Oh, I don't do no UB2Bs on Sunday. No, sorry, no UB. And besides, I got to spend time with Walking Stick because I'm going to lose Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, probably into Thursday. And I pray that the Lord does not take him if his blood pressure drops dramatically while they're doing this. Walking Stick passes away. And, you know, life is good. Life is good. Life is good, and if you live life good, you know, you got no problems leaving when you have to leave. I would pray that I would do. You see, one day I'm going to stand there with God, and I'm going to see my whole life flash in front of me, and I would pray, I would hope that when I see my life reviewed in front of me, that I wouldn't be so ashamed to see it again as I stood next to Daddy. There have been two moments in my life where I saw my life flash in front of me. One time I was going back to Bowling Green State University on a winter night on December the 2nd. It was so cold. I had to take an organic chemistry exam the following day. And I went home back from Toledo to Bowling Green. It was a big snowstorm, very, very bad. Make a long story short, I lost control of the car. And it flew up in the air because it caught one of those little ramps. You know how those ramps on the side of the road, they start from the bottom and they go up and they go all the way across and then they go back down. Well, I caught that ramp. You see, there was a semi-truck in front of me and it dropped a big chunk of ice. And when I saw it, oh Lord, I turned to avoid it, but that was a mistake. I mean, I'm on ice. I'm skating on it. And I had a brand new 1974 Monte Carlo. It was also green. And I turned to the right and the whole car just simply became parallel with the street. And there I am sliding. And as I'm facing the cornfields and I look over this way, oh, there's the road and there's a semi truck. And I'm kind of getting kind of close to it now. Oh boy. But I was traveling sideways. So I turned the wheel in the opposite direction. And sure enough, it caught something that. But just as it was coming back, the car was leaving the road and caught one of those ramps. And it just, it launched me. It launched me in the air. And the car landed in the ditch with the two tires perfectly sitting on the rail that I had been launched on. I mean, and then boom, and I smacked myself against the window of the car. Boom! And as I kind of tried to wake out of it, I looked over and I realized that the whole car was covered in snow. I was in the ditch. Oh Lord. And Gilbert O'Sullivan was playing on the radio. What was it? Get Down was the name of the song. I thought, I can't even get up. But I rolled the window down and there was, snow. I had to dig my way out and find my way, get on top of the car and jump out. But the reason I tell you this story is because when I was flying in the air, I saw my life flash in front of me. I saw all of it. All of it. From the beginning, when I was a baby and I used to kick on the wall to get my mother's attention because I knew if I did that, I would get my tetera. My tetera. What is a tetera?
Pacifier?
The
Bottle?
bottle. The bottle that, you drink milk from. All the way to the times I lied and stealed and the joyful times and I mean all kinds of stuff. And the other time it happened, I was 55 feet underneath a coral reef in Bahamas. No, Barbados. And of course, it's a third world country. They don't care. When they put the weight around my waist, they tied the weights. It wasn't clamped. They put the BC on me in the tank. Okay, okay, it works. I jump in the water. Well, I didn't know. Well, whatever the case is, I'm 55 feet underneath a coral reef, and I'm looking at some good stuff. And when you're scuba diving, you run out of air on an exhale. You see, you go empty. See, fill, empty. See, but then empty, and watch. Somehow or another, my gauge or something went wrong. But when I looked down and I lifted the gauge up, it said 0. I had a leak. I had to have a leak. I dropped the gauge. I put this back in my mouth. I looked over and I could see my dive master helping some young person. And because the currents were in my direction, I knew I couldn't get to him in time. So quickly, all of this within 1 second, you go, and I lifted my head up and I start to swim and kick as hard as I can to get to the surface. I couldn't even see the surface, 55 feet. But you know what to do. You reach over and there's a J valve. There's a J valve that you reach over with your left hand and you move it. And it gives you the air that's inside of the tube. All right, one last shot. Oh, I can make it. There was no J valve. Freaking Barbados, they didn't give a squat. If you die, you can't sue them. So then I think I better disengage my belt. That's 45 pounds, man. Let go of that. It was tight around me. I couldn't. I'm kicking like crazy trying to reach J valve. Nothing. Belt. Nothing. Okay, reach for the perch. This is an emergency. It's okay. Blow your ears. And I reached for the perch and I felt it. I felt the round ball. And when I pulled it, it came off in my hand. You imagine what my eyes must have looked like with a mask on, and all of a sudden I got the cord in my hand, but my BC did not inflate. It was supposed to inflate, and it would have busted my eardrums, but I don't care. At least I would have been alive. And it was at that time where I had run out of options of how to save my life. So I gave up. Without a fight. And I looked down to the left. Oh, it was so pretty. There's a lot of colors. But then all the colors started to go into black and white. Very black and white. It was actually blue, but the blue turned into black and white. Because I was losing my peripheral vision, and there was a darkness, that was forming, and And I remember I dropped my head because I just couldn't. But I kept kicking. I kept kicking. I remember that. But I had no more strength. And I dropped my head to the left. And as my eyes were closing, I looked and I saw boom! A ball of light just exploded. And I thought, oh. And and the weird, and I would have thought, God forgive me for my sins. God take care of my wife. God, I'm sorry. God save me. I would have thought all those things, before, but the last thoughts in my brain as I was dying was as I was looking down and I'm like, boom, that light, and I thought, wow, I never imagined that death would be so warm, and I gave up. What happened was that my body was bringing all whatever oxygen I had left to the core of my body, and I felt the warmthness rushing because the ocean was cold, and I passed out. And funny enough, the next thing in my memory was I broke the surface of the water, and when I did, I could see Jan in the little boat. And she's like, "Hi, honey, hi." She's far away. And I thought, hi, honey, my ass, I'm dying. And the tank was so heavy, it was pushing me down and drowning me. So I flipped myself over and I floated on my back. And I tried to take off my tank. I tried to take off, but I couldn't. And all I could do was just slowly float with my hands. And when I got to the boat, Jan took everything off of me, and it took about 30 minutes for me to become, I was hypoxic. And then I got into the tank, into the boat, and I threw up like a son of a gun. But family, when I was coming up and I saw that ball of light and I just was closing my eyes, I saw my whole life flash in front of me for the second time in my life. So there's no doubt about it. I'd like to do all things in life because one day I will see my life reviewed in front of me, in front of my Maker. And I would pray and hope that I would not be so ashamed to review my life in front of my Father in heaven. Are there any more? Wow, how the hell did that happen? Are there any more questions?
They want to know, did you scuba dive after that, or was that enough?
It's a good question. In 1997, I was surfing with my daughter at Sandy Beach, the second most dangerous beach on the island of Oahu. And it was so bad that night, or that day. You know a guy by the name of Greg Louganis? He's an Olympic diving champion. It was so bad they had to bring in a chopper, a chopper, rescue chopper, to get him because he had been pushed out by a riptide. And it was there that we were done, and that's where I broke my neck. A wave, 10 foot. We had the camera on the beach, and you could see it all. I was coming out of the water. I was grabbing my board, and my daughter said, "Dad!" And as I looked over to her, I opened my shoulder, and the wave, a 10-footer came, and the crest hit me. Bam! It knocked me out. I was underwater, and when I woke up underwater, I thought to myself, "Hey, what the hey? How'd this happen?" I was confused. And when I tried to get up, I couldn't. You see, I had broken C3 and 4, and I was paralyzed on the right side. And I couldn't even move my arm to try to get up above the water. I was only like in about a foot and a half of water. So I thought, something's wrong. I thought I had been bit by an animal or a shark or something. So I waited until the waves rolled me over, the ebb and the flow. And then I rolled over, and I was able to use this side, and I lifted my head up above the water, and I went, help. And there was my family right there, my daughter, my wife. My son was way over on the other side, and they came and they pulled me out, and my whole right side felt like somebody had poured gasoline and lit it on fire. All my synaptic nerve endings were misfiring. And it wasn't until I waited 3 years later. I went back to that beach, and I got in it. And lo and behold, it turned me upside. I felt like it was in a washing machine. It scared the crap out of me. I got out of there quick, but I conquered my fears. I I went back in the same spot that almost killed me and took me away from this planet Earth. So you say to me, did you ever scuba dive again? Oh yeah, yeah. I love I love the scuba dive. I wanted to jump out of an airplane this year in Hawaii, but unfortunately 9 people died from the very same place I was going to go and jump from. The same place that I have done 3 glider flights from and survived. You only get one chance around this world, you know? One chance. The angels are jealous of us. They wish they could do the things that we do physically. I have pushed the limit. There are 12 times that I should be dead, but I'm not. I mean, dead. One time I touched 20,000 volts and I was standing on a wet floor at a fish store that we owned, and it fried me in the throat. And hey, hey, how did this, what is it? Frank's, was it life story or, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do this. Are we done? I think we are. Yeah. Are we? Yeah. So I'm going to go now. I got to get with my teams pretty soon, anyways. I hope that these questions were helpful. I hope that we were able to lift your spirits and answer some questions. And I would stay and ask, talk to you more and answer all your questions, but y'all got more important things to do. Tomorrow, I will talk with Walking Stick and I will get the report, and it turns out that it's about the dollar. What I told you about yesterday, there's a lot more to it. And he started to briefly tell me, and when he started to, I'm like, whoa, we got to talk. So I'll get that from him tomorrow, and then I'll join you on Monday, okay? Did you have a good time? Are you happy? All honor and glory to God, because that's how I believe. That's how I roll. All honor and glory to our Heavenly Father. Take care of each other, and I will see you again from Tink to TC. What's that?
The chat room, there's another question.
Frank, in your opinion, what is it going to take for the citizens to stop protesting and all that? You know what? I've got yesterday's report, and I've got tonight's report. They're pretty good, too. I'm only going to show you one thing, and then I'm out of here, okay? I don't want to drag this out for you. I'm going to show you something, okay? Mr. Frank, we're organizing. We will meet you at... Oh, excuse me. The furious Iranian killing and then nothing being done in some streets and protesting. Like I always been saying, the monetary reform must not fail with citizens. Like exactly what it's doing. It's failing right now. You guys got to stop this. You have to take the responsibility of the new currency, and Daddy then will give it to you. But you have to show him that you're responsible and get off the streets and stop protesting. On the 10th, there might be a bloody date, Mr. Frank, that we are taking seriously. We're going to take over the greens, take over the oil fields, and saying nothing. Oh God, Eddie, be strong. I'll pray for you guys. Thank you, Mr. Frank, and thank you. Mr. Frank, yeah, it says here that they just showed us, Mr. Frank, on TV, The budget is going to now give 20% to the Kurds. And I'm like, what? But I thought it was 17%. Wait a minute. What? What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Willis? And and he says, Marty didn't agree to jack. Marty was told to get to do that. So sure enough, you're going to read about it. And then last year, Abadi only gave 12.6. And there was the 12 I told you about. I thought it was 14, but it went from 12.67% to 17% to 20%, and now check this out. Yeah, Eddie says he saw 20% and was amazed. Eddie says he saw 20%. He's amazed, and I told him, guess what they got for you? But you got to get off the streets. They got something. Well, wait till they show you what they got for you. Then he talks about Iranians and the government and the people and the voting, and then on the 10th, what's going to happen. And then I say, well, be careful because there's going to be more. And he says, yeah, now I hear it's 22%. Can you, it's a local media saying the budget government, I was saying that's at 22%. Family, we're there and we're making a change. And like I told you yesterday, well, you don't think that Donald Trump wants the reinstatement of the Iraqi dinar? Worse than you. God bless you. Thank you kindly for being with me. We'll have Monday, big walking stick files. I might see you inside a premium tonight, family, and tell you a few things. We'll see. That walking stick told me. God bless you. Aloha. Ahui ho until Monday night. I'm coming.